Well, welcome back to NDI Central Live here at the NewTek booth at NAB 2017, lovely Las Vegas, Nevada. We're here at the Las Vegas Convention Center in the South Hall. If you're planning to come to NAB this week, we are in booth SL5016, SL5016. Make sure you stop by and say hello and check out all the great toys that we have to play with here at the NewTek booth. We have, so far we've had a pretty full day of interviews with various developers of NDI technology. We just saw an interview with Dr. Andrew Cross, President and CTO of NewTek, talking about the new products, NewTek TriCaster TC1, now in 4K with a full 16 inputs, a 36 channel switcher with all the goodness of TriCaster has to offer, plus 2 channels of Skype video built into the new TriCaster system. So come on down, check out the new TriCaster, check out the IP series, also now in 4K. Not going to want to miss that. Media DS, we've got 3Play, we've got Telestrator, we've got the new 2-stripe control panel for the IP series and the control panel for the TriCaster TC1. So you're going to want to come down, check all that out. You're also going to want to stop by the NDI Central Booth, which is right next door to the NewTek booth. Make sure you stop by there. We've got 9 different developers from all over the world showing their products that also incorporate NDI technology. And you'll notice as we're talking about this that the NDI world is growing and growing by leaps and bounds, being adopted by all kinds of companies to give you even more production power for your live video productions. Well, our next guest is very close to us actually for this show. We have Alain from Bannister Lake. Alain Savoie, welcome.
Thank
Glad
you.
to have you here.
Thank you very much.
We've gotten to know each other over the past week or so.
Absolutely.
All of the ticker information that you see around the screen, down there and over there, going up and down. Not this one.
This one. No.
Just
There's one up here too.
And not that yet, that's the lower third. But anyway, all of the ticker information that you're seeing is all courtesy of Bannister Lake and their application called Chameleon. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, Alain, tell us well, first of all, let's talk about Bannister Lake.
Yes.
Give us a little bit of history.
Bannister Lake, we're a proudly Canadian company from Canada. Oddly enough, we've been in the industry for a few years. We work for a variety of big networks in Canada especially, and we're growing in the States as well. We provide all sorts of specialized apps and app development, and that was historically what Bannister Lake was all about. Was if a production company needed something specific, we would create the app and provide it. And that's kind of how Chameleon became our new NDI solution.
Okay. And so did you begin as a broadcast graphics company? Because this really seems like a messaging system that could be used all over the place.
Myself, I've been in the broadcast industry for about 15 years. I worked for all the major broadcasters on the Canadian side and worked on many networks. So I'm a graphic designer by trade. But the developers, they all originally came from various CG companies in the industry, some from Imagine, some from independent companies, and they've all kind of aggregated together and created a little tiny company, all kind of working from home, but working together using modern technology, Skype. And so we've always focused, or they've always focused on broadcast equipment and broadcast television. Now the problem is broadcast television is changing, and so how can we adapt to various formats? So rather than just simply focusing in television, we're starting to look into digital signage and corporate. And so that's where we're at, and using NDI technology obviously helps improve that ability.
Okay. Now we're using an application from Bannister Lake called Chameleon.
Yes, that's right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So Chameleon is a graphics and data platform solution. Essentially, we have multiple modules associated with Chameleon, one of which is data. And with data, we can aggregate any kind of data from any type of source, whether it's from RSS to weather, to social media, sports, closing events, elections, any type of data. So from there, we can also create a particular show and essentially create a rundown for that one show with all that data associated with it. Now, once you have that show, we have an app called Branding, which essentially allows you to add that show into our branding suite, in which case then you can schedule as many shows as you want throughout the day, essentially creating a network. And in those branding solutions, we could add URLs, we could add server streams, we could add whatever you want. And we have a schedule and a traffic solution and data solution now able to pump out to whatever destination. So we support NDI, obviously, but we can pump out to HTML5, we can pump out to SDI if we want. We're partners as well with Ross, so we pump out to the expression natively. So we can pump out to almost any type of solution. So Chameleon is that branding solution, that data aggregation solution, and that traffic and scheduling automation solution.
Hence the name Chameleon.
Pretty much one source everywhere, exactly.
Okay, now we're using it in a remote capacity. We've
That's
got
right.
Heidi
Yes.
and Chuck
Yep.
in San Antonio, Texas.
Right now.
And they're the ones that are controlling all of the data that you see
Yep.
on the screen. In fact, Heidi's controlling all of the information in the lower third and the white area and the ticker down there and all of the kind of information in that lower third when it's not identifying us on set.
Exactly.
And then this side banner is being controlled by Chuck. Chuck is dealing with all the tweets that are coming out, all of the social media.
Yep, he's picking and choosing.
And then Heidi's also controlling this schedule. So if there are any schedule changes, she can update that, and it just pushes that out. And that's all web-based.
Well, the nice thing is, she's in San Antonio, and we're here. So remotely, anywhere in the world, that you can go and access your cloud account and populate whatever data you want. You have the option to do that via cloud, or if you want your own local instance, you have that option as well, and have your own server and populate your own major network.
Okay. And all we have is, actually we have a laptop just behind this wall.
Yes.
Running the NDI, Chameleon NDI application, and that has two.
Right now we have two streams right now, and the one, there's digital signage above us that can be pumped by a third stream, and that's actually being pumped from our other booth. So even remotely, we're pumping data or a stream from a completely different location. But yes, using one simple laptop, we're essentially using the browser Chrome browser engine, graphic engine, to render those elements. And from there, we reconvert it and pump it out as an NDI stream.
So we're bringing it at NDI into our IP series system and just superimposing it right over the picture and bringing it in and out.
So in your case, you're actually doing it kind of uniquely. You have two streams. You have a show for the right side and one for the bottom.
Slide that out separately.
Exactly. So we've essentially given you two streams that are live for you to bring in and out, which is kind of unique. Most people only want the one stream.
Well, we like to do things a little differently.
You can, and that's the power of Chameleon, is you can have almost an unlimited amount of streams if you want, both for NDI and HTML, and so you can go ahead and push out and unique content for every single one of those regions if you want to.
Okay. What are you seeing users applying this to mostly? What are customers doing?
On the big broadcast side, it's stuff like ESPN or RTSN in Canada, or 24-hour news channels where they want to have that L-bar thing with local content, local weather, traffic information.
Branding, constant branding.
And it's different based on regions, because you go look, and we set one up in Bangladesh, for example, and they weren't really interested in traffic. They didn't have traffic data, but they were all about cricket. So they wanted cricket information, they wanted financial, the Dhaka Stock Exchange, so they wanted that financial information there. So we're flexible. We can take any type of input. It doesn't necessarily need to be one specific. If you have WSI feeds or Weather Underground feeds or stats feeds, or it doesn't really matter, we'll take anything on.
Okay. Now we talked a little bit about how you're platform agnostic.
Yes.
You can talk to anyone, do anyone. We have here, okay, talk about how to make money and save money with your system?
Well, unlike the traditional sense, our Chameleon software platform allows you to create a schedule and traffic. So even the whole point of the traffic concept is we could create snipes and banners. So using our branding solution, you can create automated snipes, whether it's promotional banners or up next banners or whatever you want, and that just adds to your promotional element. So once a banner comes on, you can see it and say, oh, we recorded it as an as run, and we can promote it to the client, say, hey, look, Coca-Cola, you've purchased, your ad was displayed 4 or 5 times. So that's one way to create ads, but our solution is also inexpensive. You have the SDI solution, which is typically more expensive, and the NDI comes in at a much lower cost. So any user who uses the NDI solution has all the same features that you would get on an SDI feed, but on the NDI side. And then we could go a step further and do HTML5 if you want. So in a big broadcast like this one, you would potentially have an NDI output, but if you wanted to add some unique data to monitors around the facilities, you could do that using a simple Chrome stick and have data coming in specific for those localized areas.
I see. And since it's really a cloud solution, it makes it very easy to access.
Absolutely. It's just point to the cloud's database and then pull. That's pretty much it.
Okay. And of course, being HTML5, it's very cost effective.
Very cost effective. Like I said, a $150 Chrome stick ends up being a digital signage, and that to me is beyond imaginable. And again, as a broadcaster or network, you could schedule those graphics, those snipes, and those promo banners to come on demand. So as soon as you as a producer or a network want to see a sponsor, you press that button, it'll animate on, and then boom, you're good to go.
Yeah, so I know that's actually, we took advantage of that. We scheduled a lot of the material to come up at certain times and change the schedule. So very handy to be able to preload all that.
Absolutely.
And just know that it's going to
be
on when you
as a bonus, which you may not even know, we've as of yesterday we've announced our score bugs. So
very good.
You could get in Chameleon, you automatically get score bugs. Score bugs for free, it's included. So you essentially could get any of the sports, whether it's hockey, baseball, soccer, NFL, whatever. And we support score bugs, which can come in as a data source through Daktronics or whatever the stadium's source is, and dynamically update it via NDI or via the web.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Very versatile, needless to say.
Yes, absolutely.
I know as I was looking at it, I could see election results and sports and traffic and weather.
No limitations, and we don't believe in selling an election module at its price. You purchase Chameleon, you get absolutely everything.
Very good. So tell us, how did you get Chameleon?
I would say come by and see us.
Okay.
If you're interested.
What's the booth?
We're at SL5421. We also have one at Ross, and we also have one at the Ontario booth in Central Hall. The Ontario booth is displaying things via expression and web, HTML5. We're focusing mostly on HTML5 and NDI here, obviously. Okay. So we're available at any time. Feel free to come by, and we'll be more than happy to discuss purchasing agreements, or if you just want a plain old demo, we're happy to show.
You want to talk about price ranges at all?
Price range, we start at $250 for monthly subscription for the software, and it goes up to enterprise levels, depending on the requirements and what your needs are. So that's roughly where it's at.
Very good. And if you want more information, you want to go to bannisterlake.com.
Yep.
Right? And there's a lot of information there. Chameleon is also going to be available on the NewTek store?
Oh yes, it's already there. It's already there. Yep.
All right, so check out the NewTek store, and you'll be able to get all your messaging needs taken care of.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And so again, bannisterlake.com, check out Chameleon. We're going to be back in a little bit. Let me see who we have coming up.
Let's look at the schedule.
It changes. All right, so we've got Dean Kolke with Newsmaker will be coming up after a short break. So stick around.